And right there. So there we go. 3, 2, and 1. Well, Steve, welcome to Marathon. Let me be the last person, first off, to welcome you to the new role here at the Village of Marathon City and of course, Mayor's Monday for WSAU, WSAU.com. Uh, First off, give us the introduction. Tell us who you are and how you landed in this role here with the Village of Marathon City.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm Steve Cherek. I am the new administrator for the Village of Marathon City. Happy to be the administrator, by the way. It was, a several-year journey to become the administrator for the village. Not just the village, but my journey, I guess. I went to college in Stevens Point, graduated with urban planning, city development, along with a business degree, and worked at Stevens Point Water Department as an intern, and also North Central Regional Planning Commission internship in Menasha. Moved to Lafayette, Indiana at Tippecanoe County as a stormwater coordinator for the county. Had 5 years working in the county there. My girlfriend, now wife at the time, moved down with me, graduated as a respiratory therapist down in Indiana, and we made our journey back to Wisconsin, but couldn't get all the way back to the central Wisconsin region without a detour. Mm-hmm. So we stopped in Madison, where I worked at the DOT in the data investment management section, worked with pavement and ratings and inventory and every municipality in the state. Did that for 5 years, coordinating with a lot of communicating with the county, towns, cities, and villages for making sure they're getting their gas tax and everything correct, and entering their pavements and correct into the system to keep up with their funding. And while doing that, the opportunity came to move back to central Wisconsin, and we took it because we're from Mosinee area, and I worked at Marathon County as the deputy county treasurer for the last 9 years.
Oh, okay.
So took more of my business background and stuff and went financial at the county, and really did a lot of financial things at the county, and with the registers of the new finance program, with the airport, a library. I was one of the central persons there, making sure the money's flowing in all the right spots at the county. And then this job came available, and I always knew Marathon City, dear in heart, because I'm from Mosinee, which is just not that far away.
Right.
And I said, oh, this is a great opportunity with all the background and different areas I worked. I felt it was a great fit for me, and I applied, and now I'm here today, and 4 months on the job, liking everything that I've done.
Since you've got some Indiana in you, then it's a little more than just watching a few episodes of Parks and Rec and getting the idea that this is how municipal government is supposed to be run, right?
Yeah, that's very, very true. I believe having that county background and working in a different areas and different aspects really gives you a well-rounded background. So I worked county government in Indiana, which had a lot of stormwater regulations, which was the federal regulation guidelines. So you start learning that rules and regulations in different areas, and then moving to the DOT on the transportation side, I just feel definitely all that really plays a role in becoming this position I'm at today.
Absolutely, because I know there's a lot of people out there that'll say that the role of government should be, as small as possible. Keep the lights on, keep the streets clean, and keep the streets in order, something like that. That should just be it. But obviously that's a big part of what you're looking at from this position, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. A big part is making sure, all our taxpayers, because the taxpayer is what funds everything, making sure that we are financially sound and keeping true to all that financial, for the taxpayers was one of the biggest aspects I have, is making sure we're not overly spending, we're keeping true to the budgets, not raising the taxes, trying to keep them as low as possible. and still being able to keep that growth and continued growth that citizens and the community needs.
Yeah, and obviously growth is at the forefront. Everybody's looking to grow. Everybody's looking to expand, even though it seems like everybody's also looking for work. So those are a couple different conversations right there. But we'll stick with the growth side of it. The Quick Trip proposal. Where are we at on that? When could we see the dirt moving on that site?
So some very exciting news with that Quick Trip proposal. We are they are acquiring the property currently. We are going through a lot of the permitting processes with making sure the signs are hitting our sign permitting ordinances. So we're going to be seeing several things coming through the board meetings and the planning commission in regards to that. But we're going to see dirt moving in April as they have a lot of site prep to do on it, and it's coming on the north side of 29. It's with a truck stop as well. So it's going to be one of the larger Quick Trips in the state of Wisconsin. So it's very exciting news for our citizens.
Yeah, and for anybody who's a Quick Trip fan, which I don't know anybody that isn't, since I moved to Wisconsin 7 years ago, I don't know what it was like for you growing up, but it seems like it's certainly ingrained in the culture here. So the largest Quick Trip in Kenosha, what are we talking in comparison? Which one's going to be better?
Oh, well, Marathon City by far, because that's right here in town.
Yeah.
So this one's gonna be, I believe, the second biggest one in the state of Wisconsin, what I've been hearing. So it's gonna be large in that regard. But don't quote me on that one. So they're building bigger ones all over the place. So
Oh yeah.
you never know. They do build a lot of them, and everyone likes sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah, they've got they just opened the first one where nearby where I'm from in South Dakota, and there's plans for about a handful more there. So whatever gets put up here could certainly be quickly passed in, Brookings, South Dakota, or Mitchell, South Dakota, sometime in the future, because that's the way this company is expanding.
Yeah, one good thing with this one too, because we are in need of a grocery store in this area, because there's not one until you drive to Wausau. This one's going to have a pretty big storeroom area for our residents to pick up that bread, milk, and that quick, good stuff that's needed. So.
Exactly, and I know that's something that your predecessor, a battle that he took up more than once, and found it difficult. But this, again, if you can't get all the way with it, this is probably one of your next best options.
Yeah. This is, I know as the village, we've really, reached all our avenues on trying to get in a grocery store, and still, we still reach our avenue. If the right person contacts us, we're definitely willing and more than willing to get a grocery store. But this one will definitely help the residents with Quick Trip having that.
Some of those convenience items, yes. I believe they're called. You realize you need that can of mushroom soup for the green bean casserole. It's right down the street instead of having to drive all the way to Wausau for it.
Yeah, the convenience stuff will be a lot better.
Then as far as other projects that you've taken up, I know the parks is something that the village has taken a lot of great pride in, and you've got a lot of parks projects on the docket right now, including a softball complex, right?
Yeah, some very exciting community news. The parks project is the new Veterans Park. It's located on the east side of town on Double N, on just past Marathon Cheese, and working along with the school district, the elementary school, on a lot of that project continuation. But just a week or two ago, we awarded Phase 1B of that parks project, and that was $1.4 million in 16 contracts. The overall cost of this park is going to be right around $4 million on Phase 1, and that is going to bring us 3 baseball diamonds, batting cages, the concrete for the parking lot, along with the basketball court, because believe it or not, we don't really have any basketball courts outside. So we'll have 2 basketball courts. The community as a whole will be operational in 2025, spring of 25. We expect to see ball games going for softball and baseball on the park. And a side thing from the park too, is the walking trail. Because besides having parking there, it's like, how is the community gonna get to the park? And this is where that cooperation with the school districts helped us, as the elementary school is across the road. And we applied for a federally funded grant and got an 80% to 20%. We owe 20. We pay 20%, and we'll get federally funded up to $519,000 to make a safe trail connecting our 4th Street, our existing sidewalks off of 4th Street to the new park.
Yep.
And one of the coolest things on this park is going to be the underneath double N. You're not gonna, on that walking trail, is you don't have to cross over the highway. It's going to be a trail underneath the road. So
yep, pedestrian underpass, I believe they call those, correct?
yes, that is correct.
Yeah, and I know that's part of, you mentioned kind of safer routes to school. Obviously, that's a community asset then for both yourself and the school district. And you mentioned you've had to work pretty closely in collaboration there as well. So being 4 months on the job, you're already getting to know the movers and shakers around here.
Yes, yeah, 4 months on the job, really getting to learn everything in the village. We have three big businesses in town here, and we're fortunate to have them. We have Marathon Cheese, Menzner, and County Materials. And one thing really neat to the village is we actually have more residents coming in to work than what we actually have for population as a village.
Right.
At 1,700. So yeah, getting to know, the business people in town, and not just the big businesses. I've been talking to everyone, all our businesses, making sure that we have all the needs and stuff and their help as well to support them.
And I'm sure, and this is something that I could guess, not just because, of course, we talked before we started filming, but it's just because it is an ongoing thing no matter where you go in central Wisconsin. I do a lot of these interviews and everybody talks about the need for housing. I know that's something that Andy was talking about. He had some apartment complexes that he pushed through there towards the end of his career, but I'm sure that's a baton that you're having to pick up as well. So what are you finding in regards to housing? Do you have any projects that maybe could be put in the hopper here soon?
Yeah, the housing is always, I'm glad the predecessor is passing on the baton. I mean, he really was promoting a lot of residential growth, a lot of business growth as well. We are completing the apartment buildings on the north end of 29. There's one more building still left to open. They're waiting on some material, more electrical stuff to be delivered, and then they will be able to start renting that soon. But we are also looking at other residential developments and really cooperating with, planning again with the school districts we will be doing to see if they could withstand that growth, along with the developers for creating single-family residential. Because like I said, we have around 1,700 people here, and over 2,000 come in to work, and the need for staying within the village is great, and we just need to get the lots, and that infrastructure was a big aspect of that. And we did our North Business Park expansion, which now got infrastructure to areas that was never able to be serviced before. And we just completed that. Right when I started, you said walking into a lot of things.
Right.
I came into a big project on the North Industrial Park, and it really brought water, sewer, and all them services north of 29. And that just opens the door for growth up that way on the village. Plus we have growth in other areas too, and we're really trying to make sure we do that growth smartly, working with our planning commission and at the village, and having that all partnered together.
Yep, making sure there's a good foundation underneath that, because it doesn't matter what it is. You don't want to be expanding too quickly, because you'll run into more problems. So as long as you're laying the foundation and moving forward, then with a stable base, you know that you're going to be moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and some of that foundation setting too was already coming in place with the new wastewater treatment plant that we just got completed to help handle some of that capacity and the new modern updates with that. So
Because nobody wants to be drowning in untreated wastewater. That's not good for anyone.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we appreciate the time. We'll certainly look forward to chatting again in a few months. And, as always, you've got my contact info. I got your contact info. We'll be looking forward to see how some of these projects go here in Marathon City.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.